Okay, alright. There's something blocking my lamp. Oh, yeah, right. You see this bad boy right here? This is the LG's Ultra Gear 27GN 950, which in this video we are going to be unboxing this and give you a few reasons why I chose this over the other monitors. Coming right up. But before all that, don't forget to smash the like button, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Lars here of Killbait Nomad. So before we're gonna unbox this monitor, I want to give you a few reasons why I chose this over the others. First is that I wanted to dabble more into the HDR scene. HDR 400, 600, and 1000. Although I don't think this is HDR 600 VESA certified, but certainly based on the specs and some other reviewers, the HDR mode can hit about 700 nits, which is very, very good. Compared to both my 4K monitor right now, this one right here is VESA certified HDR 400, but the HDR mode is straight up garbage. I mean, you can watch HDR content on this. It's certainly not better than SDR, especially I calibrated this with a colorimeter. Actually, both of them. So SDR on these ones look good and pretty accurate for the most part, but this monitor right here has brighter colors or more vibrant colors compared to these ones. Again, this is not HDR 1000, but I want to compare how big of a difference between the color accuracy or the color quality rather between my two monitors right here, which is still LG's 4K monitor, but their peak brightness is around 350 to 400 nits, while this one can peak up to 700 nits if I'm not mistaken for HDR mode. SDR mode, I think the average is around 450, which is still brighter than these two a little bit. Also, I was looking at the professional monitors, but they cost around $4,000 to $20,000 if you want to check into the professional monitors for content creation or video editing. Having said that, the Apple XDR display, although it's overpriced as what people say, it kind of looks like average priced compared to the professional monitors. So since professional monitors is way out of my budget, I was looking into LG's OLED TVs, actually the CX 48 inches. Apparently it has very, very good reviews, especially from last year. That's a 2020 model and everyone has been giving high praise on it. A lot of people are buying it to use as a monitor, especially for video editing and watching movies, not just for like TVs. And the price of the OLED TV is around $1,500. So if you compare it to a $4,000 professional monitor, which is not even OLED, while the OLED TV is $1,500 only, I mean, that is a very, very compelling reason to buy the OLED TVs instead. Also, the LG CX 48 inches OLED TV is 120 Hz, while the professional monitors are only 60 Hz for $4,000 or even $20,000. So, you know, you might want to consider getting an OLED TV by then instead. Also, I was looking into the Acer Predator's X27, which is HDR 1000 with full array local dimming or FALD monitor. The problem with that is not only it's super expensive, I think it's around $1,800 to over $2,000 right now, depending on where you buy it. The other reason is that Acer has some issues with backlight bleed as per other reviewers or other people who bought the Acer monitors. So I'm kind of worried about that. I mean, this also I think has some backlight bleed, but it's not as bad as Acer's. Now, the LG 27GN 950 isn't 1000 nits or HDR 1000, but this is only $800 retail. So that is a very, very good compelling reason. It's almost like more than half than the Acer X27, although that's HDR 1000 again, but I don't like backlight bleed. Hopefully this monitor doesn't suffer very bad backlight bleeding. You know, I have a colorimeter, so maybe that can be mitigated. And for $800, I mean, that is a very, very good price, especially for 4K 144 Hertz. HDR, it can reach to 600 to 700 nits, 1 millisecond response time, although I don't think trying to get to 1 millisecond without ghosting is possible. Probably will try to settle down with 3 to 4 millisecond. That's pretty much negligible unless you want to play competitive tournaments. Also, LG has been very, very good with their lineups for the past 2 years, in my opinion. They have been getting lots of high reviews for their lineup, from OLED to monitors. They are also priced competitively. And so those are the reasons why I chose this one and wanted to test this out. But enough talking, let's unbox this monitor and see what's inside. Okay, So let's see here. I can see, pretty sure this is the stand right here. Okay, let's not open it first. So that is the stand. Let's put it back here. What about this? Okay, yeah, this is the pretty much the stand, and this is where the monitor sits, or is it going to be hanged? It's up here. Okay, so here are the cables. This is the USB upstream cable. So basically, this monitor has USB ports in it. So this will be connected to the computer, to the back of the computer, most likely. Oh no, this one will be connected to the back of the monitor, and this USB-A here will be connected to the computer. Now this is the HDMI cable. Okay, so this is the back of the monitor. As you can see, it has the LG gaming logo right there. So it's a bit of a gamery type of logo from LG. They are marketing this for gamers primarily, but this is pretty good for content creation as well, especially after post-calibration. Now I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see the back of the ports here. All right, the ports at the back has the upstream USB cable. So you're going to be connecting the upstream USB cable here and connect the other end to the back of the computer or the USB port of the computer. So that way you can use these two USB, I think it's 3.0 or 3.1 USB ports right here. So instead of trying to hook up all the way to the back of your computer, you can use these two ports right here. But it's a bit of a weird angle since this is going to be at the back of the computer. The same as the audio headphone out or audio jack out here. It's a bit of a, in a weird angle, try to hooking up the speaker. Maybe you can hook up the speakers here, but my Kanto speaker is hooked up to the digital out on the back of my computer. Another is, here's the power port here, or here's where you put the power adapter. And then it has two HDMI ports right here, HDMI 1 and 2, if you want to use this for like consoles like PS5 or Xbox. But I'm going to be using the display port 1.4 for that matter. This does have the 1.4 DSC. That's how they are achieving the 144 hertz, 4K 144 hertz for this monitor. Let me bring this up just to show you the bottom of the monitor. Here's the joystick, the good old LG joystick where you can toggle for the OSD menu for the monitor. And there's a new one right here. There's a scroll wheel. Actually, you can, actually you can press this one and scroll. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is for the backlight, because as you can see right here, this has a pretty huge circular bulge in it. If I'm not mistaken, it has a fan inside with an RGB backlight. So that is pretty appreciated. Not necessarily needed, but it's much appreciated, especially for backlighting for the YouTube videos and all that. But it's geared towards the gamers, so I think lots of people like that. Okay, time to set this bad boy up. I'm not going to use my monitor arm so you guys can see what's inside here. Actually, let me open this one so you guys can see what's inside. So here's the feet, the monitor feet. It has NVIDIA G-Sync on it. Although actually this is more like AMD FreeSync with G-Sync compatible. That I would say. I don't think it has the actual G-Sync module inside. I may be wrong, don't take my word for it. What do you call that? Like the neck or pretty much the arm for the monitor or the stand. Let's try to open this up. This thing is heavy. Just so you know. Okay, there's a bit of a challenge opening this one, but that's good to know that it's pretty, it's packed well. Okay. Oh, I didn't realize how thick this is or huge this is. There's a bit of a, I'm not sure if this is for the cable management, although I don't think it is, but it's there. I don't know what that is, but it has an Ultra Gear label here. And I think that's pretty much it. Also, the back plate here, this one, I think the VESA 100 by 100 fits in here. So I'm gonna, hopefully it does, but from the specs, it does say VESA compatible. This is where you're gonna put the stand, and you set up the stand here. All right, we're gonna set this up and give you some initial impressions on how good this computer or this monitor is. Okay, here we go. I've set this up. Forget about cable management at the moment. I want to show you the OSD so you guys can see. Give me just 1 second. Okay, so this is how the OSD looks like for this LG GN or 27GN 950. So right off the bat, it's set on Gamer 1 game mode profile. So apparently it says VESA certified display HDR. So Gamer 1 already is display HDR set. It is set to 144 Hz since I'm using the display adapter or the DisplayPort cable. By default, the adaptive sync is already on, which is the free sync, because I have the AMD Radeon GPU card. If you have the NVIDIA, then you're gonna have the G-Sync on pretty much. By default, HDR is enabled, which is kind of surprising, but it does not look bad actually. If you can see, I'll show you in a bit. I'm gonna zoom out, but I just wanted to show you the OSD menu right now. So game mode has Gamer 1. Let's see, Gamer 2 is not VESA certified. It also has the FPS, game mode profile, RTS profile, Vivid profile. In my experience, the Vivid, it's not the best. It's oversaturated. It's not really good. If you can compare it, because I have two monitors, so I have my monitors color calibrated from a colorimeter. So the Vivid mode, it actually doesn't look good. It looks eye-popping if you don't have any comparison, but when you have a color calibrated monitor, it's not really accurate. Okay, let's go to game adjust. It has overclock. So by default, it's off. I wonder what difference it will make without doing anything at the moment, but let's turn this on. Okay, so the monitor rebooted. It also has crosshair. Okay, so when you turn on the overclock, the adaptive sync, black stabilizer, response time is, I guess it's grayed out basically. You can't turn it. Or I think it might be the HDR that's being turned on. That probably is why it's turned off. Let me turn off the HDR mode in Windows. Okay, so yes. So when I turn off the HDR mode, so as you can see, it's not, HDR is off. The black stabilizer is now on. Response time is now on. And crosshair and game reset. Now the adaptive sync or the free sync is still grayed out. I think this might be under the Radeon software. I'm not entirely sure how to turn it off. Maybe if we turn this off, the overclock mode. And we will see. Okay, there you go. So if we turned off the overclock option, then the adaptive sync is not grayed out or is enabled, but the black stabilizer and response time is turned off. So let's put that back. I'm also going to turn on the FreeSync under Radeon. Okay, so now we can edit the black stabilizer. Currently it's at 50, it's the default. I'm not going to do anything at the moment. I just wanted to show you the OSD menu. Response time is by default on fast. So it says here when selecting faster, it is recommended to set refresh rate above 120 Hertz. If you experience discomfort while viewing, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so there's fast and then there's faster. I don't know, let's try to set it on faster and see what it does. So far it's not doing anything yet. We'll probably gonna have to play games and do more of a review of that. Moving on, let's go to picture adjust. So brightness, it's currently at 25. That's surprising actually. Okay, and then contrast at 70, sharpness at 60, gamma at 2. I wonder if this has something to do with the game mode. Let's change the game mode. Okay, definitely is the game mode because now I can see the brightness just went way high. Let's make sure. Yep, brightness is now at 100. I set on game mode profile number 2. Contrast is still 70, sharpness 70, gamma mode 2, color temperature medium, and then there's 6 colors. Let's put it back on gamer 1. There you go. And the response time changed to faster. I think as we set it up already. To faster, and then brightness went back to 25. Yep, it's so these ones right here, this is the setting for the game mode, gamer 1 rather. Now let's moving on to input. So under input, it has HDMI 1, HDMI 2, and DisplayPort. So I am hooked up to the DisplayPort right now. And then ratio is full wide. There's original, but you don't really want to put it on original, just put it on full wide. And auto input switch, yeah, turn it on just in case, you want to switch it to HDMI, then it will automatically scan for the source. Go to general, is Waves Max Audio. It says on ear right now. There's over ear. I think this is for the audio jack input up in the back, but I'm not using it. Language, there's English, Deutsch, Francais, Espanol. And then energy saving, conserve energy saving by using luminance compensation. Okay, so by default it's set to low. You don't want to put it high. I want to do some HDR, but at the same time I don't want to waste a lot of energy. Okay, lighting option, turn off lighting option. So when turning off the monitor, turn off the lighting. Yep, because you don't want to keep the light status. I think this is for the backlight. And then power LED on off. I prefer it turned off because I don't want this. I'll show it to you. This one, if you put it on, then the joystick button turn is on, and it's kind of a bit of an annoying, especially when you're using the computer or watching a movie and stuff. There's a light at the bottom of the monitor. Now, automatic standby is currently turned off. You can set it to 4 hours, 6 hours, or 8 hours. Ultra HDMI is grayed out and DisplayPort version. I'm not using the HDMI right now, so I'm using DisplayPort. And that's it. Now let's hit the scroll wheel button. Okay, so here there are a few options here for the scroll wheel. There's static one. Okay, I've backed up the camera a little bit. Hopefully you can see that there's a red background there. I'll turn off my lights so that you can see the backlight or the RGB lights of this monitor. Let's press the scroll wheel again. So here, currently it's at red. Let's move it to static number 2, which is purple, or kind of like blue or purple. Anyways, that's that. And then we'll go to static 3. It's light blue. And then static 4, it's white. I think it's white. And then we'll get to peaceful. I don't know what that really means, but it says peaceful. And then dynamic. Okay, so the dynamic rotates the colors. I guess it's the rainbow colors and stuff. Okay, so I've just finished setting up the monitor right here, the 27GN950. I've installed the softwares needed for it, which is the LG Ultra Gear Control Center. So there you can set up or change the RGB lighting from the back without doing the scroll wheel and stuff. I think it also has the video sync and audio sync. Basically what it does is the edges of the monitor, it will change the color based on what the screen or the video is showing, basically. Although the HDR is not 1000 nits, I'm not sure if it's HDR 600 certified as well. The HDR is really not garbage compared to the other, to my other 4K monitor, which is HDR 400 certified. It's actually not that good. The GN950 actually looks stunning if you compare it side by side with the HDR 400. So the HDR peak brightness of this one is 700 nits, although it's not the whole screen. I think the average is around 500 or 600. I may be wrong, don't take my word for it, but it's very, very good. The quality is good. It's not as good as HDR 1000, just so you know, but it's a big step up from the HDR 400. I would say HDR 600 is actually pretty good. I would say it's the minimum if you want to watch HDR content at the moment initially. You know, I haven't calibrated anything on this one, especially with color calibration, but it's really, really good from the get-go. Also, it has a local dimming option there, but this is not a FALD monitor or FALD or full array local dimming monitor. This is only an edge-lit monitor, but at least there is an option there for local dimming and stuff, which is much appreciated compared to my other monitor, which does not have that at all. So it has a basic implementation of the local dimming, which is really good. It actually helps a lot. Again, it's not a full array local dimming, but it's pretty good. I've also run an HDR video from YouTube and comparing them side by side, and the GN950 really does have a very good picture quality, HDR quality compared to my 27UL650. Both was running the same video with HDR mode enabled, but the GN950 is doing a way better job at the HDR implementation compared to my UL650. And that means the HDR mode is not garbage and it's actually usable. And as far as the refresh rates go, there's a big step up from 60 Hz to 144 Hz, especially on 4K monitor. You can really see, because you know the clarity is there, the resolution is there. Although it might be a little oversaturated, I'm not sure because I haven't color calibrated it, but it's really good. It's very tempting or enticing for people, especially for gamers. And as for the stand is pretty heavy actually and sturdy, which is a good thing. That means the monitor won't be shaking a lot and you won't be worried about the monitor falling down or falling off or whatever, especially for an $800 monitor. And it can rotate to 90 degrees if you want a portrait view of the monitor. It also goes up and down effortlessly, which is really nice. But surprisingly, you cannot swivel left and right for some reason. I mean, you have to move the whole stand or the monitor for you to be able to move it or angle it left and right, which is kind of a bit surprising for an $800 monitor. But I'm gonna calibrate this computer and play around with it, you know, what the best settings is, and get back to you in a few weeks with a full review and see if it's still worth the money or not. Alright, that's it for this video, guys. Don't forget to smash the like button, and if you haven't yet, consider subscribing again. I'm Lars of Kilobit Nomad. See you in the next video.
Life is what you make it. Life shit been amazing.